A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of CIPM Sri Lanka, and respected HR professionals. It's indeed an honor to warmly welcome all of you to this significant occasion, the launching ceremony of the inaugural Great HR Awards 2025, presented by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, that's CIPM Sri Lanka, in proud collaboration with Mercer, the global leader in HR consulting. And in order to officially commence the day's proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the pride of our nation, the national anthem, followed by the CIPM theme song.
සුපිපෙන සුබදව නිති මිනිසත්කම් අගයන ව්‍යවසායකයින් රජමෙන සිරිබිම දියුණෙන් දියුණට පෙරමුණගෙන අද සාඩම්බරයෙන් සිහිපත් කර අපි සමරමු පැටියෙන් දිරිදෙන හැමනිති අනදිසේවයෙන් ලොවදිනනාපි අදත් හෙටත් සැමදා වැජබෙමු අපි CIPM shall excel, flying a flag of splendor through our realm. Naadum sirenda, naadum selika, onrai sirenda, urekpom naamam. Manav sampata agatan patkar, sakala deshayam jayanadhanam. අභිමානයකින් ඉදිරියටම යන CIPM සැමදා මොරැබෙන අභිමානයකින් ඉදිරියටම යන CIPM සැමදා මොරැබෙන
Thank you. Please be seated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we begin this evening's proceedings with a very special moment. Now, the Great HR Awards 2025 marks a milestone, a new milestone in Sri Lanka's HR journey. And to symbolize this historic beginning, it's now time to officially launch the logo of this prestigious awards program. And in order to officially unveil the logo of the Great HR Awards 2025, may I respectfully invite to please step forward to Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, President of CIPM Sri Lanka, and Dr. Neil Boghalanda, Chairman of the Great HR Awards and Vice President of CIPM Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we officially reveal the logo of Great HR Awards 2025. Now, the Great HR Awards 2025 is a prestigious new initiative by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, that's CIPM Sri Lanka, in collaboration with Mercer, a global leader in HR consulting, one of CIPM's annual flagship programs designed to celebrate and uplift the entire HR profession in Sri Lanka. Now, poised to become the Oscars of HR in Sri Lanka, this landmark awards program is set to honor the highest standards of excellence, innovation, and impact within the HR profession. This initiative will recognize organizations that exemplify best practices and demonstrate measurable business impact across the HR spectrum, that's people, culture, technology, and industrial relations. Now, what makes these awards truly prestigious is their foundation, ladies and gentlemen, a rigorous, impartial, and globally benchmarked evaluation process that ensures both transparency and credibility. With CIPM's national leadership in HR combined with Mercer's global expertise, the awards framework reflects the best international standards while also embracing Sri Lanka's unique local insights, ensuring a true assessment of how organizations are shaping the future of work. Now, this inaugural awards ceremony is open to organizations of all sizes and sectors, whether a large conglomerate, a mid-sized enterprise, a public institution, or an emerging SME from both private and state sectors. And to ensure fairness as well as thoroughness, competent teams of professionals have been appointed in order to take responsibility for each stage of the evaluation, where Mercer will oversee the shortlisting and initial evaluation, and the jury will conduct the desk reviews, evaluate in-person presentations, and finally award points towards the recognition. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's session will also guide all of you through the application process and also the overall structure of the awards. And this session will provide valuable insights for all those aspiring to participate, ensuring clarity on criteria, expectations, and the journey that lies ahead. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an initiative of this magnitude cannot definitely be realized without the unwavering support of our dedicated partners. And now we would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our strategic partners of the Great HR Awards 2025 for their invaluable support extended towards CIPM Sri Lanka. Our heartfelt thank you goes out to LinkedIn, PickMe, and BIPO, as their partnerships play a vital role in strengthening this landmark initiative, and we are more than grateful for their collaboration. And with that, in order to formally welcome you all this evening, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the President of CIPM, Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to see more than the HR Awards inauguration, very happy to see my HR colleagues, seen them after a long time. 190 companies, so 190 HR representatives have come here from 190 companies, so very happy to see that. So warm welcome on behalf of the Council of CIPM to all the participants. Vice President Dr. Neil Bogalanda, my council colleagues, past presidents, CEO and the staff of CIPM, and dear participants. I warmly welcome all of you who have come here to witness the inauguration of CIPM, and we are going to do this HR Awards ceremony in collaboration with Mercer, Great HR Awards. We have had HR Awards ceremonies in the past, but at this level, this is the first time we are doing that. I'm very happy to note that this inauguration itself is a great success. So there are a couple of objectives of this HR Award ceremony, what you are going to participate. One is earn national recognition on a prestigious platform. Definitely you are going to earn the national recognition. CIPM is a national leader in human resource management, especially in collaboration with a globally accredited and world-renowned consultation firm, Mercer. The second one is benchmark your practices against the top performers across the sectors. So there are so many sectors. Now you are going to benchmark your best HR practices among all these sectors. The third benefit that you are going to get by participating in this HR award ceremony is strengthen your employer brand in a competitive talent market. The third one is motivate and celebrate your HR team impact. So those are some of the benefits that you are going to get, whether you are going to win it or whether you are going to be selected for the final rounds. Participation, what really matters. As the compeer said, this ceremony is open for many sectors and the different size also, extra large, medium, small size, public and private sector and the public sector both. So what really matters for us is your participation. So once again, I take this opportunity to warmly welcome all of you and thank you very much for your participation. And I kindly request all of you, especially the young HR talents who are here, because you all are the ones who are going to do all the back office work. Please take it very seriously. Form a team from tomorrow itself, so they will release the questionnaire. Be ready with that within the next 3 to 4 weeks' time. You are going to be, there will be a selection process initially done by Mercer. After that, there will be a desk review. And also we have eminent panel of judges, so they will be inviting you if you get selected for the final round for a presentation. Please be ready with that and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Priyanth Ranasinghe, the President of CIPM Sri Lanka, for setting the stage for Great HR Awards 2025. And with that, in order to now address you all, ladies and gentlemen, we cordially invite the Chairman of the Great HR Awards and the Vice President of CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Bogahalanda.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted to see a hall full of CEOs, HR professionals, and business leaders who have gathered here on our invitation to take part in this competition. For me, this is not just another gathering. It is the beginning of something very special. Together, we are making history with the inaugural Great HR Awards 2025 by CIPM Sri Lanka in proud collaboration with Mercer International. From the time we started this project, our thought process was very clear. Our intention was never to add another event to CIPM calendar. As you all know, CIPM calendar is full of rich events. What we wanted was to create a movement, a platform that celebrates and uplifts HR practices across every corner of this country, including large corporates, may it be a SME, community organization, yes, very importantly, state sector as well. And let me assure you one thing. We are here to say, we are here to stay. This is not a one-off event. This is Great HR Awards is going to be the flagship event of CIPM. Therefore, I'm inviting most of you to join this competition and win the competition. First is always remembered. Great HR Awards is not about winning or losing. I know many of your organizations have won many accolades in your own organization. But the Great HR Awards by CIPM is about a journey you embark on when you participate. By taking part, you and your HR team will discover where you truly stand today in relation to HR. What you are doing exceptionally well, the areas which can be improved. You will walk away with insights that will be long-lasting, even after the event is over. Even if you don't take a trophy home, you take home something far more valuable, a roadmap to strengthen your people practices, and an inspiration to show your employees that they belong to an organization that truly invests in them. Let me share a little reflection here. In our busy schedules, we sometimes miss critical areas that need improvement in managing our most valuable asset, our people. We tend to feel satisfied when we see internal progress, but against industry benchmarks, those improvements may not be good enough. The truth is, when we expose ourselves to external benchmarks, we often discover blind spots we never saw before. The moment of realization can be humbling, but it is also a turning point. It gives us courage to change, to improve, and eventually to be recognized as a leader in HR practices. That is the journey I wish each of you, because real growth begins with the moment we step out of our comfort zone. And let me turn to a matter which is closer to my heart, the state sector. For decades, most of you ladies and gentlemen in the private sector have been very fortunate to have great exposure to great HR practices, international frameworks, benchmarking, and best HR practices in HR, best practices in HR. The state sector, which forms the backbone of our nation's administration, has not always been that fortunate as many of you are in the private sector. So one of the deepest intentions of these awards is to close that gap by giving the opportunity to the state sector organizations to take part and grow with this. One other thing what I want to emphasize is every organization here is equally important to us. And CIPM has utmost respect for each and every one of you. That's why we have gone that extra mile to make sure fair competition and impartialness. We have deliberately partnered with Mercer, one of the world's most respected names in HR consulting, to bring global expertise and credibility. On top of that, we have assembled an eminent panel of independent jury members whose experience and integrity speaks for themselves. The role is to ensure that every organization is judged purely on merit. I'm sorry I'm not in a position to reveal the names of the jury members at this moment, but they will be duly recognized at the final ceremony. So I say you today, don't just sit back and watch this happen. Be a part of it, step forward, enroll your organization, and join the transformational journey. I must also mention something very practical. As organizers, we are mindful of our own limitations, the number of organizations we can handle in this inaugural year, which is limited. Therefore, I humbly request you to expedite your registration process to secure your participation in this historic event. Ladies and gentlemen, with your active participation, with Mercer global expertise, and with the guidance of our distinguished jury, I have no doubt that Great HR Awards will soon become the most respected platform in this country to celebrate HR excellence. So let's begin this journey, not for recognition alone, but for the transformation. And with that spirit, I remain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Neil Bhogalanda, for the sentiments expressed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we move ahead, let me take a quick moment to share a few words about Mercer. At Mercer, the mission is to empower organizations to harness the transformative power and the potential of AI, unlocking workforce potential, enhancing employee health and well-being, navigating today's investment challenges, along with driving sustainable innovation. So it is with a wealth of global expertise that Mercer has partnered with CIPM Sri Lanka to benchmark international standards for these awards and also to ensure the highest levels of governance, impartiality, and transparency throughout the evaluation process. And now it's my privilege to warmly welcome the director at Mercer, Ms. Shraddhanjali Patnaik, to share with us an overview of the evaluation framework for the Great HR Awards 2025.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. What a wonderful beginning to the day with the national anthem of Sri Lanka. Believe me, I heard it for the first time. It was beautiful. And the CIPM song, which just shows the long-standing, grounded, culturally rooted background that you have for over the last 60 years in this country. As Mercer, we are grateful for you having chosen us as a partner, as your knowledge partners for this award event. And thank you for having us here. Honored to be a part of this. So enough and more has already been discussed by Mr. Neil and Mr. Priyantha around the launch of the award ceremonies. I'll also probably dedicate a small section to the introduction of the Great HR Awards and move on to the intricacies and the details and the nuances of what the award ceremony is going to entail, the evaluation criteria, so on and so forth. So how we plan to structure the presentation is to set some context, as I said, the context setting is already done. Discuss the event and the process plan, discuss and present to you the entire evaluation framework, and last but not the least, questions and answers. Irrespective, in case you have any questions through the course of my presentation, through the course of me speaking, please do feel free to stop me and ask any questions there. We do have a host of us consultants from Mercer who have been working on this over the last 6 months to bring this to stage today. So we have thought through a lot of pieces and, with your feedback, we will be able to respond to most of them right now. So introduction to the Great HR Awards. Let me just start with the CIPM first. The Institute of Personnel Management in Sri Lanka was founded in 1959 by small professionals with the objective of developing and promoting the profession of personal management. The institute was subsequently incorporated by an act in the Parliament in 1976, which is extremely prestigious back then, and amended in 2018 as the Chartered Institute of Personal Management. With a history of almost 60 years now, it has over 1,000 plus members, 5 branches, 4 to 5 regional centers in Sri Lanka, and more than 200 lecturers. CIPM is now a globally recognized professional body when it comes to offering best-in-class HR international and specialized programs. All of you know that. But considering this global recognition, this brand coming up with launching HR Awards in 2025 is doing it with the whole and soul intention to recognize and celebrate excellence in human resource management practices. All that they have been thriving to train people around, to develop the nation to reach a certain standard of personal management. They're trying to take it to the next level, to take the competition ahead and come up with the best practices and, acknowledge the leaders in these practices across different sectors. These awards aim to boost morale, showcase innovative HR strategies, and enhance your organization's brand reputation as an employer. They also encourage continuous improvement within HR departments by highlighting best practices and providing a platform for learning and networking. This award ceremony is open to employers across all categories. We've heard this already: extra large, large, medium, and small-sized enterprises, and recognizes 16 different industry sectors, the definitions to which is shared in the subsequent slides. What is Mercer's role here as a knowledge partner? As a knowledge partner here, Mercer is going to strategically collaborate in designing and implementing the awards framework, ensuring alignment with the global best practices, the experience which Mercer brings to the forefront. Mercer is also going to support with the assessment and evaluation of the award ceremony. We have already developed an evaluation criteria based on the global best practices. We'll ensure a fair, transparent, and rigorous assessment criteria through the entire process. We will definitely bring in the global expertise and guidance based on HR trends, benchmarking standards, and innovative practices to ensure the awards recognize truly transformative HR initiatives. And of course, thought leadership. Through this partnership, Mercer aims to promote continuous HR excellence by sharing knowledge, providing feedback, and encouraging organizations to adopt progressive HR practices. Last but not the least, Mercer will also be participating as a jury member in the evaluation process to ensure objectivity. Though an introduction about Mercer has already been shared, but I would just like to deep dive into some of the pieces around Mercer. Mercer brings along with it 80 plus years of human resource consulting experience. It is one of the 4 operating subsidiaries of Global Professional Services Group, the Marsh and McLennan Group of companies, which itself has a 150-year plus history by itself. Mercer has close to 85,000 plus employees worldwide, has presence across 43 countries, and operates out of 130 plus countries globally in terms of data. Mercer has several distinct lines of services, namely health and benefits, investments and retirement, workforce and careers, and M&A advisory services. Mercer in Sri Lanka has been partnering with organizations in Sri Lanka for over 20 years, building strong and lasting relationships. Since the integration of Cerebrus Consultants with Mercer, which happened early this year, Mercer has further strengthened its partnership with many organizations based in Sri Lanka. Mercer collaborates with organizations across diverse industry sectors, including manufacturing, high-tech, consumer, diversified groups, apparel, etc., etc. Mercer Sri Lanka continuously conducts market research through Sri Lanka Total Remuneration Surveys, Custom Rewards and Talent Solutions, industry-specific insights, benefits benchmarking, so on and so forth. I think, again, Mr. Neil and Mr. Priyantha have already spoken about why you should be participating in these organizations, and Mr. Neil has already taken us through this piece of given the of what are the 4 major factors that should be taken into consideration for you to consider why should you participate as a part of this survey. However, that's just a bird's eye view that I would say. These award ceremonies mark much more than just these 4 pointers here on the screen. These award ceremonies mark recognition and celebration of your HR team. They help you with talent attraction and retention. They help provide morale boost to your employees, to your teams, to your organization. They help in brand enhancement. A lot of other organizations get to know your organization, your practices beyond what is there within your organization. The award ceremony helps you with knowledge sharing, benchmarking, and networking. Mr. Neil did talk about blind spots with regards to benchmarking, and I'll just emphasize on that point the importance of benchmarking. And this is on a very, very light note, actually. So when I came here for testing the podium, I was hardly visible when I was standing here. I was like getting consumed behind the dais and all that. And then Mr. Neil walked in, and he was going beyond the dais, and he was visible everywhere. So then I realized, this podium is high there or rather low there because it has really long, tall people as a part of CIPM leadership. And I didn't know the benchmark. Hence, I was not prepared to stand up to that level of height and, be visible across this audience. So, that's that was a blind spot for me. I mean, this is on a very, very light note. But that's the importance of benchmark, knowing that where are you going to stand, what are you going to present, what are you going to be offering, so on and so forth, and what's already there on the table. A few more aspects around the importance of why you should be participating. Participating in award functions like this gives a free flow of thoughts, energy, and helps you to strive towards continuous improvement. It demonstrates your commitment towards the betterment of your HR team, your organization, and your strategic goals. It promotes innovation. It showcases the achievements, the good job done by your HR team already, where you stand and where you intend to be. And last but not the least, motivating your teams and acknowledging them for the work that they have been doing. After saying all this is compounded by what Mr. President and Mr. Chairman have already shared. After saying all this, I would like to add that it is your organization's journey to the road to HR excellence in human resource management. Rightly probably mentioned as the Oscars of HR earlier. So my suggestion is hone it, mold it, and shape it the way you want your HR team to look and showcase itself, by being in tune with what's happening in the industry, by being a part of a larger community, by sharing, by networking, and by showcasing your capabilities. Again, this is a repeat from my side to what has already been said earlier by Mr. Neil. It's not just about winning or losing in this award ceremony. It is also about learning from each other practices in HR and looking at the betterment of this entire department as a whole. So I leave you with that thought and move on to my next slide. So what are the salient features of the Great HR Awards that we bring to the table? The Great HR Awards is construed as a national platform for excellence. It will get you external validation and recognition to showcase innovative, impactful, and people-centric HR strategies at a country level. It will help enhance market branding and tap potential labor market for all of you. Secondly, it promotes inclusive participation. This is open for participation to organizations of all sizes: large, extra large, medium, small, headcount, revenue-wise, all scientifically, strategically taken into consideration. It will cover the diverse award categories, acknowledges the sector-based and specific practices based out of different industries, and recognizing leading practices across industries as well. It will have a rigorous and fair evaluation process, a multifaceted evaluation process, if we may say. There'll be an application round, a questionnaire response review round, in-person desk review round by the jury, in-person presentations, and final jury evaluation, which needs to be backed up by some validations, by some credible examples of processes that are being followed in the organizations. This will acknowledge the good work done by your HR teams. It will also give an impetus to improve the HR processes. Last but not the least, the importance of benchmarking and visibility. You get to benchmark with similar players in the industry, thriving in a parallel world along with yours. It will help in strengthening your internal communication channels and improve the talent roadmap. So how does your application process work? The application process is open from 24th July. So yes, many of you have already enrolled. And for those of you who are considering to enroll, the last date is 27th August. Commence your participation by completing the official application form and remitting the applicable entry fee. This marks your organization's formal registration for the Great HR Awards. Upon successful registration, excuse me, you will receive a comprehensive questionnaire. This document is designed to capture your organization's HR strategies, innovative practices, and measurable impact. The due date for filling in the questionnaires would be from 1st September to 22nd September. That gives you 20 days and more in total to respond to the detailed questionnaire that comes to you. And of course, last would be shortlisting. All submitted questionnaires will undergo a thorough preliminary review. Entries demonstrating exceptional merit and alignment with evaluation criteria will be shortlisted by Mercer for further consideration. This would be done by Mercer around 23rd of September to the 8th of October. So there's going to be a rule book which is also going to follow suit. So you could look at the rule book and see what would be the applicable guidelines for you to fill in the questionnaire and so on and so forth. Once the initial round of shortlisting is done based on the hygiene checks, the hygiene criterias, there'll be a desk review of the shortlisted submissions by the jury to assess the consistency, depth, and overall effectiveness of the practices outlined. This will be around mid of October. This will follow through with in-person presentations. All the shortlisted applicants will be requested to come in person and present in front of the jury around 27th and 28th of October. The jury will be asking you a lot of cross questions there. You'll be expected to present the flow of all your processes, of the practices, everything with a logical flow and with good presentation skills, which should be coherent and understandable. Finally, there's going to be an evidence-based final evaluation. At this stage, the jury will consolidate findings from all the prior phases, including questionnaire reviews, desk assessments, and in-person presentations, to determine the final award recipients. This rigorous evaluation will ensure that only those who can support their practices with evidence are the ones who are a part of the award ceremony. The award ceremony, the last part of it, the process culminates with prestigious awards ceremony where winners will be recognized and celebrated for their excellence in human resource management at the Great HR Awards 2025. This will be around the 25th of November. Any questions here? This was more around the event and the process flow and all that. Now I'll move on to the evaluation framework. Broadly, the evaluation will be done for 8 people practices, which will have about 10 to 15 people sub-practices as a part of its subsections, and there'll be 6 assessment guidelines. A culmination of responses to all these 3 pieces will lead to the award, to the decision of award categories around who would be eligible for an overall award category, or category-wise award segments, which would depend on the size of your organization, or a sectoral or a excellence awards. I'll deep dive into what are these pieces in my subsequent slides. So again, we repeat, this recognition will be across 16 identified industry sectors. Recognition will be across 10 excellence domains and across 4 organizational categories, actually not 3, that will be 4. Excuse me. So the people practices to be evaluated. The evaluation framework has been designed strategically and scientifically to reflect the universal needs of HR fraternity, starting from foundational base to proceeding to a more strategic alignment. The structure focuses around 5 key areas. I'll move on to that in the next slide. This would be 8 key areas around the people practices. The top 6 areas that are visible here would be talent acquisition, talent management, total rewards management, talent engagement, workplace practices, HR analytics. To top this up, there'll be 2 other segments of business impact and overall HR strategy as well. As I mentioned, rule book for this is to be shared along with the questionnaire. Now the 8 segments are the top broad segments, but the questionnaire will have questions for each and every sub-segment mentioned here. So the questionnaire section will have questions categorically for recruitment, selection, or learning and development, or employee relations, or leadership development, performance management, so on and so forth. All that is listed here. Now, our point of view in building the assessment guidelines. And this is a combined point of view from Mercer and CIPM. The evaluation framework has been designed to reflect the universal needs of HR fraternity, starting from foundational base to proceeding to a more strategic alignment. The structure focuses around 5 key areas, starting from foundational questions to driving results, best practices, future-focused practices, and business alignment. The bottom half of this pyramid is going to account for 55% of weightage in the evaluation criteria, whereas the top part of this pyramid is going to account for 45% of weightage for the evaluation criteria. Now, what does this 55% at the bottom half comprise? It comprises of process and outcome articulation as the base and followed through by efficiency, effectiveness, and impact. For the remaining 45% is going to cover innovation, automation, continuous improvement, thought leadership, and strategic alignment. Any questions there? I'll deep dive into each of these segments. What do these particular parameters mean in the next slide? And would request all your attention, because that particular section is what you will have to think through for filling in your questionnaire. You may want to take down some key terms which we will be looking at while assessing your responses. Maybe that could help you write or give the responses on those lines. So what would be the definitions of these assessment guidelines? Let me start from the base. We'll be sharing this deck with you. Apologies for the small font here. I know it's not visible, but I'm reading through it. The base focuses on process and outcome articulation. Process articulation refers to deliberate structuring, involves outlining steps, activities, methods to facilitate easier process flow. Outcome articulation, on the other hand, focuses on defining the value of the outcome or the result of the process followed. The next level focuses on efficiency, effectiveness, and impact. Please note, efficiency, effectiveness, and impact. Process efficiency refers to how well a process utilizes resources to achieve a desired outcome, minimizing waste and maximizing output. It's about doing things in the most economical way with the least amount of wasted time, effort, or resources. In essence, a process is efficient when it delivers the intended result with minimal input and waste. Now, what's process effectiveness? Here, we need to look at the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Process effectiveness refers to the degree to which a process achieves its intended outcomes and fulfills its objectives, essentially measuring how well a process meets its organizational goals. It focuses on whether the right things are being done to produce the desired results. In essence, it's about doing the things that are valuable and achieving the intended impact. Lastly, process impact refers to the effects a process has on other processes, systems, or outcomes. It describes the consequences, influence, or changes that occur as a result of a specific process being executed. Any questions here? Okay. I'll move on to the top part of the pyramid, which focuses on the best practices in innovation, adoption of new practices, technology utilization, and automation. Innovation in process refers to the introduction of new or significantly improved methods for delivering services. This involves changes in techniques, equipments, or software used within a process with the aim of enhancing efficiency, reducing costs, improving quality, or increasing flexibility. The key terms we would be looking out here for assessment would be your focus on your internal operations, efficiency and cost reduction, technology adoption, continuous improvement, so on and so forth. Adoption of a new process is the next. It means a process by which individuals or organizations begin to use and integrate a new method, procedure, or system into their workflow or operations. It signifies the transition from an old way of doing things to a new one, often involving a series of steps and adjustments. The key terms we will be looking out for here would be implementation of your processes, acceptance of those processes, integration of new processes, sustained use, and optimization of those processes. Next, technology utilization refers to the effective application of technological resources to achieve specific goals. It encompasses the extent to which organizations leverage technology to enhance their efficiency, productivity, and overall performance. The key terms we would be looking out for here would be in the responses would be integration, efficiency, effectiveness, and innovation. And last but not the least, the entire world is talking about automation. Automation in process means using technology to perform tasks that were previously done by humans, streamlining operations and increasing efficiency. This involves automating repetitive and time-consuming tasks within a process, often using software and other technologies. The goal is to reduce manual effort, improve consistency, and potentially lower costs. And some of the key terms we would be looking out here is replacing manual tasks, efficiency, speed, reduced human intervention, strategic focus. But at this stage, at this point in time, I also want to build some comfort to say that all your organizations that belong to a different sector and are not really thriving on automation or haven't embarked on a journey of automation, will not be losing out in the evaluation criteria. We understand the sector and the background that you are coming from. Hence, we would be giving some correction points there for you to ensure that that part of the parameter or the criteria which is not applicable or not thriving within your industry is taken care of. Any questions here? Is it too complicated or is it easy? Some feedback. For the ones hearing it for the first time here, does it sound like you'll be able to apply and do a good job? A yes or a no, please? I can see a lot of smiles. Okay, as response to these questions, there's going to be a lot of learning to know what's happening and where you need to be in the future. Focus on continuous improvement means constantly striving to enhance services through a cyclical process or incremental processes. Come back with breakthrough changes or data-driven changes or employee involvement or focus on values, so on and so forth. And thought leadership in the context of process refers to the ability of an organization to influence thinking and shape the direction of a specific process or industry by sharing innovative ideas, insights, and perspectives. It's not just about having expertise, but actively sharing that expertise to shape conversations, establish credibility, and ultimately drive positive change. Last but not the least, focus on strategic alignment. Strategic alignment of processes means ensuring that the organization's processes and daily operations are all working in harmony to achieve its overarching strategic goals. It's about connecting the dots between the big picture objectives and the specific actions taken by teams and individuals within the organization. Essentially, it's about making sure everyone is rowing in the same direction towards the same destination, guided by the organization's strategy. Now, those are just the evaluation criteria. You just have to fill in your own policies and practices details without bothering about what I spoke. But probably when you are responding, these are the guidelines or the thoughts or the holistic pieces you need to keep in mind while responding. So the evaluation criteria, when I mentioned it, the bottommost pyramid has about 55% weightage, which is about 20% for process and outcomes articulation, 35% for efficiency, effectiveness, and impact. And the topmost pyramid has about 15% weightage for innovation, adoption of new practices, technology utilization, and automation, 10% for continuous improvement and thought leadership, and 20% for strategic alignment. This is 100% weightage at the questionnaire stage. And there'll be 100% weightage for in-person presentation that will be done to the juries. Now I'll boil down to the last section as to what are the awards that are in the offering. We start with a Grand Winner Award. This Grand Winner is the top organization showing overall excellence and lasting impact in HR, setting standard across the country in Sri Lanka. The next would be category awards, where it is offered to organizations across all categories, extra large, large, medium, and small. It's a chance for national recognition for HR excellence aligned with business success. This award will include winner, runner-up, and merit awards. And the criteria for extra large organizations would be a headcount of 5,000 and above, or a $10 billion plus LKR organization revenue. Large enterprises would be about 1,000 and above number of full-time employees, or a 1 billion plus organization revenue. Medium-sized organizations would be categorized under 100 to 1,000 employees with 100 million plus revenue. And small-scale innovators will be recognized at 25 to 99 employees with a 15 million plus revenue. So you could be slotted in any of these categories, and you will be evaluated within this category for this particular category award. Hence, you will not be benchmarked against a category which is not applicable to yours. A small-scale innovator will not be benchmarked with an extra-large organizations. We are cognizant of the nuances that large, small, or medium organizations bring to table in terms of their processes. Hence, the award process has been devised with all fairness to ensure that, the competition is fair. Then comes the sector awards, which will require tailored HR solutions based on the 16 industry sectors, and will have a winner and runner-up for strategic innovation and HR impact. So the sectors which are getting identified for sector-specific awards, so all of you belonging to would probably be getting slotted in most of these sectors, and there will be sector-specific awards for winners and runners-up. The sectors include advertising, media services, agriculture and plantations, apparel, textile, leather, automobile and related services, banking, construction and engineering, diversified group of companies, educational, certification and advisory services, finance, insurance, investment, food and beverage, healthcare, pharma and related services, hospitality, tourism, leisure, manufacturing and FMCG, shipping, logistics and transport, state sector services, telecommunication, ICT and BPM services. Is there any other sector which is present here and is not a part of this entire slotted sectors? Any feedback there? Yes. Energy. Okay, we'll probably, yeah. Yes. Right. So the higher of the higher applicable category will apply. So if it's a small scale innovator, if they are a 15 million revenue sized organization, or 25 or like 100 employees, whichever is like higher will be applicable. Say, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And any other sector which is not classified here, we can probably classify it under one of these sectors or add it. Energy, I heard you, yeah. Real estate, okay. Yeah. Sorry? Retail, yeah, right, okay. Retail would probably be FMCG and retail, consumer goods and retail. That's point 13, manufacturing and FMCG. Okay. Printing and packaging, educational certification or shipping. Manufacturing, sorry. Yes. Yes, okay. So we can probably consider... We can split it. Fair enough. Sure. Fair enough. And next, last but not the least, there are going to be excellence awards. This would not be across any category or any sector. It's just going to award or recognize the practice within an organization, whether it is large, small, belongs to FMCG or manufacturing or energy or any sector. So the Excellence Awards will cover about 10 Excellence Awards, their segments: Best Talent Acquisition, Best Learning and Development, Best Talent Management, Best Rewards Management, Best Employer for Diversity and Inclusion, Best Women-Friendly Work Environment, Best Employee Relations, Best Leadership Development Strategies, Best Employer Branding, and Best Use of HR Technology. These segments are going to cut across all the industry segments. So irrespective of whether you're a small, large organization from any industry, it's just the practice and the comfort that you get in your practice process flow for your employees. That's going to define, excuse me, that's going to define the awardees for the section. Some of these key dates, we are definitely going to share this deck with you, but a few key dates for you to remember. The application deadline is 27th August. We are standing today on 18th August, so we are talking about another 9 to 10 days. So get going fast, apply as soon as possible to be a part of one of the best award ceremonies, functions at a national level, to learn and to teach. The start date of submission of responses would be 1st September, end of submission period would be 22nd September. In-person presentation would be held around 27th to 28th October. Hence, be prepared with representatives who are going to represent your organization and talk to the jury to showcase all your processes and policies. And the award ceremony finally will be on the 25th of November. That's all I had from my side. Any questions? Happy to take up your questions. We are an entire team of Mercer and CIPM team working on the entire event. Would like to understand your feedback, though on the sector, the feedback around the sectoral piece was very, very helpful. We'll get that incorporated. Anything else? How does it sound? Okay, we'll give you some time to kind of digest it, think through it, and apply for it. But, you know, it would be worthwhile. It would be worthwhile to be a part of this prestigious award function at a national level. Just not to win or lose, but also to learn, share, network, and participate. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. So if you face any technical glitches while answering, responding to the questions, or any clarity required around the questions design, the Mercer contact numbers will be there for you all to kind of reach out to us for any clarifications. Yes, there's a question there. Yeah. They're getting you a mic. They're getting you a mic.
Hi, this pyramid you have shared, they are discussing on the processors, efficiency, and so on and so forth. So where will this, like special award, the DEI and all these things, the learning and development and talent acquisitions will be part of? And when we are talking about these assessment guidelines, is it about overall business are we supposed to write, or HR specific processors only we are supposed to write?
Let me take the first part of the question there. So when I was talking, how do we go back here? So when we are talking about these awards, these will be across all practices. We will, I mean, of course, if we are talking about the best talent acquisition team, what's like the process efficiency, impact, strategic alignment, whatever is kind of shared as a part of talent acquisition input, and the way it is presented and the holistic approach of the entire process is going to be taken into consideration for this set of awards. Okay. For these set of awards, categorically, again, We are going to look at the 6 evaluation criteria, the process, efficiency, impact. Each of the questions will have a weightage parameter, and the marking will be done based on the responses that's given to each of these questions. And depending on how the jury ranks the overall response, each and every, like there are going to be multiple juries. So depending on what the entire set of jury feels about the responses from a particular organization, that's going to be totaled up, and that's going to be used for the final evaluation.
My question is whether we are writing, it should be focused on more into HR areas, or like the process innovations, automation, and all those areas is like the main production or operation processes.
No. So these are HR areas. We are not talking about process improvisation or process efficiency in operation areas. We are talking about process improvisation or efficiency or effectiveness only in the HR areas, and categoric to the 8 specific people practices that we are talking about.
Okay, thanks.
Please don't go or look beyond HR to submit any of these responses.
Hi.
Hi.
One more question.
Yeah.
Now, when the category and the count and the revenue, I felt it little bit, just for thoughts. Now, where my company is concerned, it has about 150 employees, but we go above 1 billion. So, because of the revenue,
1 billion.
above 1 billion.
Yes.
So, because of the revenue, I get into the large enterprise category.
Right.
I felt it might be not that appropriate. I don't know, just for thoughts. Because I would prefer me going on 100 to 200 or whatever the smaller segment of employees.
Sure.
But our revenue it depends on the market you are in. If it is a oligopoly market or monopoly market or a competitive market or a FMCG.
Got it.
So just look at that, because otherwise it might be a tough task to certain guys.
Sure, we will
Thank
have
you.
a chat with the
All right.
jury
Thank you.
members
Thanks.
and look into
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. With the number of questions, I'm assuming we have a lot of applications coming our way. Okay, that's all I had from my side. We will be sharing this deck. We will be at your disposal for any questions, queries, for any calls around the questionnaire through the entire process. Do feel free to reach out to the Mercer team, the CIPM team. We'll be sharing all our coordinates and details with all of you shortly. Yeah? Okay, thank you for your patient hearing, and look forward to meeting you in the subsequent months again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shraddhanjali Patnaik, for that comprehensive presentation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we did talk a lot about the structure and the application process of the Great HR Awards 2025. However, let me quickly take you through the summary of the structure and the application process. Well, as Ms. Patnaik clearly did explain, the awards will recognize excellence through a 4-tier structure. We will have the grand winner, that's the highest honor of the Great HR Awards. Next, we will have category awards presented across 4 categories, and they are extra large companies, large enterprises, medium-sized organizations, and small-scale innovators. And then we'll be also having the sector awards across 16 key industries, and they are advertising and media services, agriculture and plantations, apparel, textile and leather, automobile and related services, banking, construction and engineering, diversified groups of companies, educational certification and advisory services, finance, insurance and investment, food and beverage, healthcare, pharmaceuticals and related services, hospitality, tourism and leisure, manufacturing and FMCG, shipping, logistics and transport, state sector services, and telecommunication, ICT, and BPM services. And the final category is Excellence Awards. That's recognizing achievements in specialized domains in HR, including excellence in talent management, talent acquisition, learning and development, rewards management, employee relations, women-friendly work environment, diversity and inclusion, use of HR technology, leadership development strategies, and employer branding. And here's how the application process will take place. Well, applications must be completed with payment and submitted on or before 27th August 2025. The application should bear the authorized person's name, designation, signature, and company seal. Applicants who meet this deadline will, by 29th August 2025, receive a comprehensive questionnaire from Mercer. Please note, all applications and documents must be received within the deadlines, and late submissions will not be accepted, ladies and gentlemen. And also, entry fees must be paid in full at the time of application. The questionnaire link will be sent via email by Mercer to the contact person mentioned in the application. Only complete and accurate applications will be evaluated. Incomplete or inaccurate submissions may be disqualified. Mercer will conduct the shortlisting process, identifying submissions that best align with the evaluation criteria. Shortlisted entries will undergo a detailed desk review by the jury. Selected organizations will then be invited to make an in-person presentation before the evaluation panel. The jury will consolidate findings from all stages to determine the final award recipients. And the winners will be announced at the Great HR Awards 2025 ceremony. And also, it's very important to note, ladies and gentlemen, that all information submitted will be treated with the strictest confidentiality and will be used solely for the purpose of evaluation. Now, the entry fees are structured based on employee count and annual revenue, with the higher applicable category prevailing. For extra large categories, that's over 5,000 employees and annual revenue over 10 billion, it will be 220,000 rupees. For large categories, over 1,000 employees and annual revenue over 1 billion, the entry fee will be 170,000 rupees. Medium category, that's 100 to 999 employees, and with an annual revenue over 100 million, it will be 120,000 rupees. And for small category, that's 25 to 99 employees and annual revenue over 15 million, it will be 70,000 rupees. That's the entry fees. Well, also, ladies and gentlemen, a quick note on category placement. Please remember that placement is determined by both headcount and revenue. And the key point here is that if either of those criteria puts you in a higher category, then the higher category will apply, as it was described earlier. Also, please do keep in mind that you can apply under only one category, and the annual revenue should be taken from the immediately preceding financial year based on your audited financial statements. And also, before I conclude, here are some important dates that you would want to note. The application deadline, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is 27th August 2025, and the award ceremony will be held on 25th November 2025 at Cinnamon Life, Colombo. And shortly, there will also be a QR code displayed on screen. You will be able to scan this QR code and access the brochure with all these details that we just did talk about. So, yes, we invite all organizations across all sectors to take part in this landmark initiative. And we also do look forward to celebrating the best of Sri Lanka's HR excellence at the Great HR Awards 2025. All right, so we will give you a couple of more seconds in order to scan the QR code and access the brochure with all these details in it. All right. Thank you very much. And moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we now arrive at another important milestone of today's ceremony, and that's the launch of the official website of the Great HR Awards 2025. Now, this platform will serve as the central hub for all the information related to the awards, including guidelines, application details, key dates, and updates as we progress towards the grand ceremony. And in order to officially launch the website, may I now cordially invite to please step forward Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, President of CIPM Sri Lanka, and Dr. Neil Boghalanda, Chairman of the Great HR Awards 2025. And now that the website is officially launched, make sure that you go check out the website and you can get all details pertaining to the Great HR Awards 2025 from the website itself. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, in order to propose the vote of thanks, we now cordially invite the Chief Executive Officer of CIPM Sri Lanka, Mr. U.A.C. Obesekara.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As this briefing session draws to a close, I take immense pleasure in proposing the vote of thanks on the launching ceremony of this Great HR Awards, which is being conducted by CIPM Sri Lanka in collaboration with Mercer India. At the outset, I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the representatives of Mercer India, Ms. Shraddhanjali Patnaik, Director of Mercer, Ms. Gauri Shinde, Associate of Mercer. Undoubtedly, your presence at this event is greatly appreciated. Mr. Priyantha Ranasinghe, President of CIPM, I thank you for your leadership in making this entire process a success, particularly from the point that it was decided to stage the Great HR Awards. And Dr. Neil Boghalanda, PhD, Chairman of the Great HR Awards, for the abiding interest he took in putting this thing together. There are representatives of almost 190 organizations who are present here, and I thank them for their presence. Then also a big thank you to the organizations who have already registered. I extend my gratitude to Ms. Himali Dasanayake, Chief Operating Officer of CIPM, for driving and coordinating all activities effectively with the Secretariat staff. And I also thank Mr. G. Veeratunga for the kind support given. A special word of thanks to the members of the jury who will play a decisive role in this entire event. My thanks go out to the strategic partners, LinkedIn, PICME, BIPO Services, Lanka Private Limited, our event partner, Go Live, Head of Marketing, Ms. Jairokshi Jayalat and her team, Head of IT, Mr. Tilna Gamage and his team, Cinnamon Grand for their excellent arrangements, and all others who contributed in great measure to make this event a success. As you plan to enter this competition, I would leave you with a quote from sports. When the great scorer goes to write your name, he writes not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. So I urge all of you to actively compete. Please register and be winners. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. U.A.C. Obesekera, the Chief Executive Officer of CIPM Sri Lanka. And ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up the formal proceedings of this evening, we begin this exciting journey towards recognizing and celebrating HR excellence in Sri Lanka with the Great HR Awards 2025. Thank you very much for being here with us this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we wish you all the very best. Have a pleasant evening.